Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Haley. If you're new here, this is a channel that's going to be everything Disney. So I live just a couple hours away from Disney World. I go there quite a bit. So I'm just going to talk about how to make the most out of your Disney trip today. We're going to talk about some of the top things that you need to consider when you are budgeting for your Disney World trip. I want to preface this video by saying everybody's experience at Disney is going to be a little bit different because everybody has different expectations for what their Disney World trip will be. We all have different priorities and different things that we enjoy. So there's no right or wrong way to budget your Disney trip. There's no right or wrong answer to any of the things I'm going to talk about today. It just depends on what's best for you, your situation, and your family. So first what I'm going to start with is souvenirs. That's something that you're going to want to think about. Are you going to want to get a souvenir at each park, a souvenir each day, one souvenir for the whole trip? Do you want to pre-purchase your souvenirs? There are a lot of shops in the area. If you're driving yourself or you want to take an Uber or have a way to get to one of those stores, there are a lot of stores around Disney World that sell Disney merch. So that can be a more cost-efficient way to get your souvenirs. But if you're somebody who wants something from the parks, that's just something to consider because souvenirs in the park can be pretty pricey depending on what you're getting. So you definitely want to factor that into your budget when you are planning your Disney World trip. The next one's going to be what time of year you go. This can make a big difference in not only the cost of your hotel stay, your resort stay. It can affect your flight prices if you're flying in, as well as the Disney tickets themselves. So the Disney tickets range depending on demand and the time of year. So some of the most expensive times of year are going to be holidays, so Thanksgiving, Christmas, as well as spring break time and summertime. So anytime where kids are going to be off school, you're typically going to see higher prices for Disney tickets. That's also going to heavily impact the crowd levels, so your overall experience at Disney could be impacted as well, depending on what time of year you go. Some of the more slow times of years are going to be like mid to late January, some parts of February, as well as late August, September time frame. So just depending on what time of year you're going, that's definitely going to impact how much you need to budget. Any extras, so just aside from souvenirs, Disney World offers a lot of extras. So there's tours that you could do, in Animal Kingdom, you could do their wildlife tours, as well as like memory maker. So for all the photos that you get throughout your trip, there's lots of photo pass spots throughout all of the Disney parks that offer some great family photos. They also have photo sessions or capture your moment sessions where you can pre-book a photographer for 20-30 minutes, and they can take photos of your family that whole time. So um, those things are going to cost extra on top of just your base Disney trip. So if you're planning on doing those, you will want to factor that in to your Disney World budget. And then lightning lane or no lightning lane. Uh, with no lightning lane, obviously you're not going to be spending any money for skipping the line services, but you may spend a lot more time in line. So if skipping those lines is something that is important to you or you think may enhance your Disney vacation, it's something that you're going to want to factor in. They price that by a date-based and park-based fee. So depending on which park you're going to and on which day, those prices are going to fluctuate. They have multi-pass, which will get you skip the line for most of the rides throughout Disney World. You pre-book those, while their single pass is going to just be a couple of those most popular rides, and those have their own fee and their own pass that you'd have to purchase ahead of time. So that's something that you're going to want to consider if you're wanting to skip the lines. Meals. This is going to probably be one of the most expensive things if you choose to do it in Disney. While you're at Disney, you can purchase meals. They are offering a dining plan once again, so that can provide a little bit more consistency to your meal planning if you like to plan that ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to want to factor in some money if you're planning on eating in the parks. Quick service is going to be cheaper than table service if you want to do, one table service meal or a couple throughout your week. But quick service is typically going to be the quickest option. There are snack stands as well if you're okay with smaller things like Mickey pretzels and things like that. The other option that you do have that a lot of people don't know about is you can bring things into the parks. So you can make your meals ahead of time, sandwiches, chips, whatever you want, and bring it into the park. That's going to help you save a lot of money. You will be carrying around some extra things, but if you have a stroller anyway where you can stow some stuff away, that might be a good option for you to save some money. The next thing we're going to want to consider, which is going to be a pretty big one, is which parks do you want to go to and how many days do you want to spend in the parks? Are you planning on purchasing Park Hopper? Park Hopper is a great option to get to go to multiple parks in one day. So if you miss something at Magic Kingdom and you want to hop back there when you're wrapped up early, say at Animal Kingdom, you have that option. Park Hopper does cost more, so just kind of depends on what's most important to you and what you think your week's going to look like. I prefer to be able to hop between parks. However, it does cost quite a bit more. So if you're looking for more budget-friendly options, I would say just buying the one park day ticket will be a good option for you, and then you can plan your park days accordingly. Um, per day does get cheaper the more days that you book. So when you're looking at 3 days or more, they start to offer discounts for the daily cost of your ticket. So if you're wanting to do each park one day, you could do 4-day ticket, or you could do 4 or 5-day ticket. 5-day ticket, you could go back to whatever park you want 2 days at. They have a lot of different options when it comes to the number of days and number of parks that you go to. So just kind of figuring out what's going to work best for your family and then budgeting accordingly. Next, we have transportation. So transportation might cost you, it might not. If you're staying on Disney property, there's lots of Disney transportation that is free to the parks, as well as to Disney Springs. If you're staying on property, you could save a lot of money by saving, not spending money for the transportation and just using Disney transportation. If you are going to be driving yourself, you might want to factor in parking tickets at the parks. So you pay for parking at the parks. If you hang on to your receipt, you can get into all the other parks with that same day with that same parking ticket. So that's something that you're going to want to factor in as well. Or if you're planning on Ubering, you will want to factor that into your plan as well. The final one, and probably the biggest expense that you're going to incur on your Disney vacation, is where you stay. So Disney has 25 resorts on their property. They range from value resorts with probably the least amount of amenities, the least amount of things to do at the resort, all the way up to deluxe. Just depends on what your budget is, how much you want to spend, how much time you think you're going to spend at the resort itself, as well as the perks that you want. The deluxe resorts are going to get you more perks than the value resorts. The value resorts are really great if you just need a place to lay your head and you're planning on spending most of your time in the parks. You can also resort hop, so if you do have a day where you're going to be taking a break from the parks and you book that value resort, you can take the buses either to the parks, Disney Springs, and go to some different resorts on your resort day. So where you stay, they have up the middle, moderate, value, deluxe, just depends on the level of perks that you want with your Disney stay. You also have the option of staying off property. I do that quite a bit. I stay at hotels nearby. I get free breakfast with most of my hotel stays. A lot of the off Disney property hotels that are nearby, some of them offer Disney transportation included with your hotel stay. So it's something to look at, something to consider when you're thinking about where you want to stay on your Disney vacation. For bigger families, you guys might be looking at an Airbnb. So there's lots of different options, all with different price ranges. Like I said, it really just depends on what is important to you and your family, what your priorities are for your Disney vacation, Is this something you're going to be able to do multiple times every couple of years? Or is this a once in a lifetime vacation that you want to really get the most out of? Whatever your priority might be, you're going to have a magical time at Disney World. I think it's important to set a budget. That way you can plan for it, work towards it. That'll make your Disney vacation all that more rewarding. But at the end of the day, you're at Disney World, you're the happiest place on earth. You're gonna have a magical time. You just have to make the most of it. Decide what's important to you and your family. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to post some more content on here, maybe planning some specific trips, showing you a mock booking, as well as taking you with me to Disney each time that I go. So, thanks for now. Bye.